Elon Musk's last terrifying warning for Russia. What is billionaire Elon Musk's last terrifying warning to Russia, who also happens to be a top player in the aerospace industry? In this video, we'll tell you all about it. Reacting to Vladimir Putin's recent statement, which stated that the first global leader in AI will rule the world, Musk suggested that artificial intelligence might soon lead to a third world war. This statement created quite a buzz, so hold on to your seatbelts as we unwrap the story behind Elon Musk's terrifying warning for Russia. Let's get started. Musk's warning to Russia. The first half of November 2021 witnessed Russia's military testing for their anti-satellite missiles. This event led to the formation of a cloud of debris in space. Even though the test was carried out at an altitude of 500 meters, it still managed to obliterate one of the Soviets' own Selena D-class missiles, which was up in orbit since 1982. Instead of enforcing proper safety measures, the Russians instructed the astronauts at the International Space Station to take cover in their docked ship. In response to these irresponsible actions, the U.S. government labeled the actions hazardous and reckless. In response, the Russian Defense Ministry refuted the charges. It accused the United States of hypocrisy, given the fact that China, India, and the United States had all tested debris-generating anti-satellite weapons. But there was one man who had the foresight of seeing this issue as one bearing a global threat. Elon Musk stated that if such rivalry and rapid developments continue to sustain, then the world would witness World War III in no time. China, Russia, soon all countries with strong computer science. Competition for AI superiority at national level, most likely cause of World War III, in my opinion, Musk tweeted. And not just any war, we're talking about one filled with AI-based robots. Who knows? The Terminator franchise could even come to reality. Sure, seeing a robot walk around is fun, but who would want the evil version of Arnold equipped with weapons of mass destruction walking down the streets? Definitely not me. President Putin also knows the significance of the issue at hand and has been a fan of AI-based autonomous weaponry himself. Whoever becomes the first leader in the AI space would govern the world, quoted Putin. In response to this, Musk posted a tweet saying, "It's on." Elon's history with Russia. Elon Musk and the Russian government have never seen eye to eye in the past decades. While speaking as a special guest at a Russian aerospace event, Musk expressed his interest in building a few new production sites in China. It all started in 2002, when Musk turned towards Russia for the first time to buy rocket missiles for his newly launched company, SpaceX. Since rockets used to be pretty expensive in the States at the time, and Russia's space program was also quite underfunded, Musk flew to Russia to collaborate with their officials. His initial joy turned into dismay when these officials started to increase the prices of rockets every time he met them. One of the designers even went as far as to assault Elon Musk and spat on his shoes. They stated that their rockets were a technological marvel and not some form of amusement for wealthy capitalists from the West. After this, Musk never looked towards Russia again. But the future had some other plans. Now seeing how far the sharp-witted billionaire had come, Russian space agency's head, Dmitry Rogozin, reached out to Musk and said he would be more than happy to work with Tesla and asked Musk to join him for a meeting. The same official earlier used to believe that Musk's company, Starlink, was a potential threat to the military security systems in Russia. Why is Starlink a threat to Russia? The satellite-based internet company, which aims to solve the network crisis throughout the world, was labeled as a potential threat to the Russian military systems, and even their citizens for that matter. Much like any nation, the Russian military has plenty of rockets that rely on coordinates sent by Russian satellites in space to reach from one point to another. The same holds for many of their fighter jets and S-500 trucks. Seeing that Starlink has closely worked with the government of the United States, Russian officials suspected that Starlink satellites could be used to intercept the coordinates of their weapons during warfare. Imagine shooting at your enemy only to see the bullet make a U-turn and come towards you instead. Who wouldn't be concerned? Russian officials also stated that the internet services offered by Starlink could be a weapon to induce anti-nationalist agendas in the minds of the people who use it. They think it can be used to control cruise missiles, control special forces, recalibrate flight tanks, and even serve as an agent network across the Russian terrain. Thus, it should come as no surprise that the Russian government is totally against Starlink. They even penalize the individuals who are found using any service from a brand that works in a close ally with the United States military. More about SpaceX. SpaceX is the brainchild of Elon Musk, which was founded in 2002. Elon's initial vision with SpaceX was to be able to take humans to Mars. Over the years, SpaceX has achieved plenty of milestones, including one where they launched NASA astronauts into orbit. The story of how Elon started SpaceX is somewhat motivational. You remember how we talked about Elon's bad experiences in Russia, right? Well, soon after that, he decided to build his own rockets by undercutting existing launch contractors in the process. From there, the company then went on to launch their well-known Falcon 9 rockets, which can be reused up to 100 times after some minor refurbishments. SpaceX also developed a cargo craft named the Dragon, which was used to send cargo to the International Space Station. Their next step is to launch a giant rocket called Starship, previously referred to as Big Falcon Rocket, which will enable the transport of cargo and human passengers across the globe. Starlink. At a glance, SpaceX doesn't only want to penetrate the shell of outer space, but it's also working to bring the cosmos closer to our doorstep. In May 2019, they rolled out the first batch of 60 tiny satellites, aimed to pave the way for a huge constellation of broadband satellites. In its final phase, up to 42,000 low Earth orbiting satellites will be used to cover the world with high-speed internet connection, called Starlink. A beta version of the service was introduced in the fourth quarter of 2020 for northern latitudes. The business now plans on expanding its services to mainstream regions like Canada, United Kingdom, and Asia. Russia's hidden plan. There could be another reason behind the Soviets' ill temper towards Starlink. Earlier this year, many reports surfaced that Russia is planning to build its own internet cloud-based satellite system, called Sphere. The official stated that it would reach its final phase by 2030. But by then, most of the individuals would have already turned towards Starlink, putting Russia's solution at a considerable loss. Thus, Russia had to impose a ban on Starlink to eliminate any future threats to their in-house product's market share. John Byrne, director at telecom technology at Global Data, also pointed out that banning or regulating something when it's being broadcasted from space is really tricky. Contrary to conventional internet services, a government will have a hard time if they had to regulate content over satellite. Technically, governments do have a right to regulate vertical space up to a certain extent. What we are yet to see is whether or not Starlink's low-orbit satellites will come within the sphere of government control or not. Improper usage of resources. Russian research institutes continue their quest for AI-powered weapon systems, rockets, and emotionally intelligent humanoids, despite the relatively lower number of radical developments on the artificial intelligence front. Many people also believe that Russia is secretly experimenting with network-centric warfare, which includes internet-projecting drones and missiles which will transmit political content on any device that's connected. Critical funding, which should instead go to innovative private companies or academic researchers, is being used up by the government for military applications. The situation has been so bad that even Russian venture capitalists have to look outside their country if they want to filter out good AI opportunities. Verdict. All in all, this has led to people believing that Musk was right to quote that China is not the only potential threat to the United States when it comes to AI-based warfare. Russia's secretive AI could showcase its capabilities when the time comes. The real question comes down to this. Could Russia's claims against Starlink really be true? Or is it just another political propaganda to take the spotlight off their secretive operations? Let us know your opinion down in the comments below. Thank you for watching.